Greetings gastronauts, this is KeefCooks, I'm Keef, and today I'm going to do something Halloweeny, bonfire nighty. I'm going to make toffee apple cake and caramel apples. A few shout outs before we start. One to Peter Sharp, who made a wonderful donation recently via PayPal. Thank you very much, I do appreciate it. And a week or two ago, I was wondering what to do. I wanted to do something for Halloween. I've done pumpkin, I've done pumpkin pie. I've probably done some other things that we associate with this time of year. So I put a call out on my community tab on YouTube, and I got about 20 answers. Thank you very much. So some of them, as I just mentioned, I've already done. But toffee apple cake, I've never done, in fact, never really heard of it. And that was requested by Hazel Braun. And toffee apples themselves, well, actually caramel apples, requested by Patrick Duncan. So there was a contestant on Great British Bake Off last week. They did the Halloween show a week or two early, because they're silly. And this contestant had a go at making toffee apple cake and got sent home for it because it didn't really work very well. There you go. And toffee apples, I recall from my youth, coated in very hard, bright red toffee, and they don't have to be teeth in. So I'm not doing that version, I'm doing a caramel version, which is much softer, and hopefully we'll enjoy it. So if you enjoy this video, give it a like, share, subscribe, and toffee apple things. I'm making the cake first, so these are my ingredients. I need 500 grams prepared weight of apples. This is the last of the apples from our garden, and to be honest, I'd be glad to see the back of them. So 500 grams would be about 5 or 6 of those. I'll tell you later. 250 grams of self-raising flour, 100 grams of demerara sugar, 2 eggs, 200 ml of milk, 100 ml of sunflower oil, about a tablespoon of lemon juice, and a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, half teaspoon of ground cloves, half teaspoon of nutmeg. First thing to do, incredibly tedious job, is peel and slice your apples. I just remembered one of the contestants on that Bake Off episode had a little machine clamped to his workbench, and you kind of stuck your apple on it, and he turned a handle and he peeled it and cored it as well, I think, and I want one. And put your slice in a bowl and coat them in lemon juice, and that will stop them going brown. We don't want them swimming in lemon juice, just enough to cover them all over. Right, that's me 500 grams of sliced apple, come back you. And that was my tower of apple cores, just to show that I used 5 apples to do that. Before we start mixing things, you want to get a springform tin ready. So I've got this. It's 23 centimetre diameter, that's 9 inches, and I'm just going to butter it all over and sprinkle it with flour as well. Right, we need the oven preheating to 170 degrees Celsius for a fan oven, convection oven. That's 190 for a conventional one, and that is gas 5. Right, big bowl, mix the dry ingredients. Teaspoon of baking powder that I forgot to tell you about before, and the spices. Teaspoon of cinnamon, half teaspoon of nutmeg, half teaspoon of ground cloves, and mix those all together. Now we need to mix the eggs together with the milk, the oil, and the sugar. And then combine that with the flour and the apples. And I think if I did this again, I would grate the apples because they're, quite big chunks. Anyway, it's meant to be an apple cake. So put the batter into the tin, and we pop that in the oven for about an hour. But I'm going to check it after 50 minutes just to see it might be done. Okay, 50 minutes is up, so let's see if it's done. Well, it's certainly risen, turned a bit brown, and if the skewer comes out dry, then it is done, and it is. We need to let that cool down a bit before we try to get it out the tin. So to a Brit, a toffee apple is coated in very hard, crisp, crunchy, brittle toffee, and it's bright red, usually, because of food colouring. So I did a little experiment yesterday. So this is my toffee. You can see it's starting to leach a lot of liquid out of it, and it fell off the apples because they weren't prepared properly. But yeah, I think I might get some of the local kids to take care of that, because I'm not eating it. So I'm not doing that kind, I'm doing caramel apples, so it's a softer coating that won't break your teeth. So I prepared these 3 apples yesterday, and confession, these aren't ones that I grew, because I needed really small ones, or, you know, smaller than most of mine, so I bought them. But if you buy apples, they're likely to be coated in wax, and you need to get that off. So what you do is just put them in very hot water, not quite boiling, for about 30 seconds, then take them out, dry them thoroughly, and then chill them. And they do need to be chilled when you dip them in the toffee or the caramel. So I'm going to stick skewers in them. Obviously they need to be cut down. Well, I mean, they don't need to be, but it's probably a good idea. And I'll stick those back in the fridge until we need them, because now I'm going to make caramel. Ingredients for the caramel: I've got 165 grams of demerara sugar, I've got 65 grams of butter, I've got 90 ml of golden syrup and 90 ml of double cream, heavy cream, and a sploosh of vanilla extract. And then for the topping, optionally your choice, I've got sprinkles and I've got chopped almonds. Golden syrup, not all countries are fortunate enough to have this, although, you know, you could buy it online at huge expense. Or you could make your own. And I've got a recipe for that, which I'll stick somewhere. To make the caramel, you want to melt the butter, stir in the sugar, the golden syrup and the cream, and stir it constantly till it comes up to 115 degrees Celsius. And it might take 15 to 20 minutes to bring it up to temperature, but don't be tempted to turn the heat up too high, because you might burn the caramel, and that won't be nice. When it's reached the temperature, take it off the heat and let it cool down to about 100 Celsius, and that might take 3 to 5 minutes. And don't forget to add a little bit of vanilla extract. Then get your cold apples and just quickly dry them in case there's any condensation on them. Tilt the pan and then just hold the apple upside down, being careful that the caramel doesn't drip on your fingers, because it's hot. You can see that is actually starting to set a little bit. So I've got a baking sheet with a little bit of greaseproof paper on it, and pop the apple on there. So I chopped some almonds up for topping, but it's a bit uneven and some of the bits are like boulders. The caramel's come off. Oh dear. Right, and then sprinkles. Look at that, beautiful shine on it. Yay! Okay, so in the fridge with those till they're set completely, at least 30 minutes. Now I'm going to quickly whiz up some cream cheese icing. So I've got 200 grams of cream cheese, 100 grams of caster sugar, powdered sugar, and 100 grams of butter cut into little bits, and another sploosh of vanilla extract, because I like it. So first of all, cream together the butter and the sugar. And then we'll add in the cream cheese and beat that together till it's smooth. And don't forget the vanilla again. Right, we're nearly there. So I'm going to decorate the top with some apple slices and that cream and the remaining caramel and a toffee apple or two. So here's another couple of apples that have been chilling. Slice them nicely. Okie dokie, time to finish up. So I've got my cake And I think I'll start by making a barricade of cream around the edge. And actually, the thing to do is to pipe it, isn't it? Like a professional, but I'm not. Right, here we go. Nothing fancy like. Beautiful, eh? And I'm going to flood it with caramel. I've just heated this up on the stove gently so that it'll flow, because it was starting to set quite firm. And now I'm just arranging the apple segments on the top, like a big fan kind of thing. And now I'm just gonna caramelise the apples. Well, put caramel sauce on them. Okay, there we go. It's not the neatest thing ever, but then that's not my thing, and I am really, really pleased with it. I mean, caramel apples, you know, normally they have a big pool of toffee or caramel at the bottom. That's just got a little one. Yeah. Yeah, the nutty one is a bit of a disaster, but can't win them all. So, and the sheen on it, or the shine, I love it. Anyway, I'm going to pop that on there. And that is a toffee apple cake. Okay, taste test time with me! And cake. Toffee apples. Oh my goodness. That's nice. Let's have a toffee apple slice. So I guess this counts as one of your 5 a day with all those apples. Proper healthy pudding. Fantastic. I don't know. Do I want to try a toffee apple? Well, I just got toffee there, I didn't get into the apple. The toffee apple's a bit of a challenge to eat on video, so I'll spare you that embarrassment. Oh, actually my embarrassment. Anyway, tons of hard work, but probably worth it. Impress all your mates. Thanks for watching. Happy Halloween.